love, lust, and regret. My story of choosing between two men. I married Chase 3 years ago, and I have to say, I'm pretty cute. Not that my looks matter much to my husband. He's a wealthy businessman, and he married me for my intelligence and wit, not my appearance. But still, it's nice to feel good about yourself. Our life together was comfortable and luxurious. We had a beautiful home in the suburbs, a fancy car, and all the designer clothes and jewelry I could want. We traveled to exotic destinations and dined at the finest restaurants. It was a dream come true, or so I thought. One night, I was feeling restless and bored. Chase was working late at the office, and I was home alone with nothing to do. That's when I remembered our neighbor man, the one who lived down the street with his son. He was poor and struggling, but he seemed kind and friendly. I had spoken to him a few times, and I couldn't help but feel drawn to him. On a whim, I decided to reach out to him. I sent him a message, asking if he wanted to meet up for a drink or a chat. To my surprise, he responded quickly and eagerly. We arranged to meet that night, under the cover of darkness, so that no one would see us. As I slipped out of my house and walked down the street, I felt a thrill of excitement and fear. What was I doing, sneaking around with a man who was not my husband? But I couldn't help myself. I was curious and intrigued, and I wanted to see where this would lead. We met at a local bar, and he bought me a drink. We talked and laughed, and I felt a connection with him that I had never felt with my husband. He was funny and smart, and he had a warmth and kindness that touched my heart. As the night wore on, we grew bolder and more daring. We held hands and shared kisses, and I felt alive in a way that I hadn't in years. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't stop myself. I was addicted to the thrill of the forbidden, the danger of the unknown. But then, suddenly, my phone rang. It was my husband, and he sounded angry and suspicious. He demanded to know where I was and who I was with. I panicked and hung up, feeling guilty and ashamed. I rushed home and tried to sneak back into my house, but my husband was waiting for me. He was furious and hurt, and he accused me of cheating on him. I tried to deny it, but he had evidence. He had hired a private investigator to follow me that night. He knew everything. For a moment, I thought our marriage was over. I thought I had lost everything: my husband, my home, my security. But then, to my surprise, he did something unexpected. He forgave me. He said that he loved me and that he didn't want to lose me. He understood that our marriage had become stale and boring, and that I was seeking excitement and passion elsewhere. He admitted that he had been neglecting me, too busy with work and his own interests to focus on our relationship. He gave me a choice: stay with him and work on our marriage, or leave and be with the neighbor man. It was a hard choice, but in the end, I chose my husband. We went to counseling and worked through our issues. We made an effort to reconnect and prioritize our relationship. And in the end, it was worth it. Our love grew stronger and deeper, and we found a new appreciation for each other. As for the neighbor man, I never saw him again. I realized that what I had felt for him was not love, but lust and infatuation. It was a temporary escape from my problems, but it was not a real solution. Looking back on that night, I realize how foolish I was. I almost threw away everything I had for a fleeting moment of excitement. But I also learned a valuable lesson about the importance of communication and honesty in a marriage. Chase and I are still together, and we are happier than ever. We make time for each other, and we appreciate the little things that make our relationship special. We still have our ups and downs, but we face them together, with love and respect. As for the neighbor man, I see him from time to time, but we never speak. We both know that what we had was nothing more than a passing fancy, a fling that meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. I sometimes wonder what my life would have been like if I had chosen him instead of my husband. Would I be happy? Would I have the same security and stability that I have now? It's impossible to say, but I know one thing for sure: I don't regret choosing my husband. In the end, love is not just about passion and excitement. It's about commitment, trust, and respect. It's about building a life together, through good times and bad, and facing the challenges that come with it. I learned that the hard way, but I'm grateful for the lesson. And as for my looks, well, they're just a bonus. What really matters is the love and connection I have with my husband.